start in a comfortable seat. And just take the hands to your knees. Your palms will be down on the knees, and give a little bit of downward, outward pressure. Just feeling the heat of the hands, feeling the weight of the hands, and allowing the shoulders to release down. As you arrive here, start to become aware of the outside edges of your feet, grounding and rooting into the earth, noticing the weight of the sits bones. And from this grounded position, feel the spine lengthen upward as if you are rooted and planted right into the earth, and yet rising up out of the earth and growing toward the sky. Feeling the shoulders release and relax down. Scanning the skin of the face and softening the space between the brows and the space around the corners of the eyes and lips. And as you feel the body become strongly grounded but softened and light as well, bring your attention inward and just notice the quality and quantity of your thoughts. Simply noticing them, and as they come, let them pass without attaching a storyline. This is the trick to being present. It's not that we want to stop the mind from thinking, it's that we want to allow our mind to keep coming back and reminding ourselves that right now, or right here, all we have to do is sit and breathe and tune into our bodies. To help us tune in, we'll breathe deeply in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Doing that a few more times, breathing in through the nose. Release it out through the mouth. One more time through. And then settling in to a breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Imagining, if you will, a pane of glass or a mirror just on the back of the teeth. So you breathe in deeply through the nose, but as you breathe out, you imagine you could fog that glass or mirror on the back of your teeth. So you actually feel that kind of open back of the throat, as if fogging up a mirror. You can do that with the nose closed. It's the same action in those muscles. You start to sound a little bit like Darth Vader, and that's kind of what we're going for. Just that nice deep breath in, full, emptying exhale. And by focusing on the breath, the mind starts to still itself. And as chatter comes back in, we just invite in the breath and invite in the sensation that an inhale brings and the sensation that an exhale brings. And allow ourselves to notice that. Let's drop our chins to the chest, feeling a gentle stretch over the back of your neck here. Taking a minute with the chin dropped down and the head surrendered to maybe set an intention for your practice or for your week, whatever that might be. That intention might be for you, it might be for someone close to you, or it might be for your community as a whole or the world as a whole. Taking a minute, just tapping in to whatever feeling you might want to carry with you through practice. And as you inhale, allow the gaze to rise, allow the arms to rise, open the eyes as you take the fingertips to touch, and then bring the hands down through center chest. We're going to press our palms together strongly. You're going to feel the activation right across the chest and right across the insides of the arms. Interlacing your fingers now, press the palms outward and upward. Nice deep stretch over the chest here. Bending the elbows slightly as you allow the shoulder blades to relax down your back. And on an inhale, lift up a bit more. And on an exhale, reach over to your right side. So just feeling that stretch over the left side waist. Very gentle to start. Lifting on an inhale. Reaching to the left on an exhale. Good. Again, lifting through center, this time twisting to your right side. Left hand will come over right knee. Bringing out through center belly. And inhaling the arms up through center. Exhaling, you're going to cross over that left knee and twist over your left shoulder. Right, coming back through center, the arms rise up. We're going to take this little rocking motion. So it's right hand down, left arm over. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, left arm down, right arm over. So just moving with your breath. You rise on the inhale, you reach on the exhale. One more time to each side. Rise on the inhale. Reach on the exhale, rising again, and reaching final time. Beautiful. Back up through center, hands come behind your back, interlacing your fingers, knuckles drawing down and back, chin dropping to chest once again as you push the pinky side of your hand toward the back of the room. Slowly relaxing those hands, taking the soles of the feet now to touch with the knees wide, and lifting up across the chest. You'll gently fold forward. We're not super warm here, so I don't expect that you would come super far forward just yet. Just taking a breath in, notice where you feel sensation, and allow the breath to move into that space so that each exhale begins to soften. And then we start to circle from right to left, feeling that through the hips, perhaps also through your low back. And changing the direction now of your circles, coming left to right. Last time through, folding forward. This time, let your hands rest on the floor in front of you. Round your spine, let your head hang heavy. Feeling the muscles of the back drape over the ribs, drape over the spine. And just breathing into the sensation through the legs, through the back, and perhaps across the back of your neck. Slowly and gently rising up through center. We're going to take the legs behind us, coming up to tabletop pose, so hands and knees. Spreading the fingers wide, dropping the belly down as the chest lengthens forward. Nice deep breath in, notice sensation there. Round your spine out on the exhale, stay rounded. Shift your hips over to the left side. Draw through center and shift your hips over to the right side. Good, you're going to come back through center and step back through your right toes. Actively pressing into the heel. So you'll feel a nice deep stretch over the top part of the calf, the gastroc, so you're pushing back. And then curl your left toes under and simply lift the hips just a bit, just enough to feel that come down the calf. Releasing here. Dropping right knee, extending back left foot, pressing through the heel to start. Curling those right toes and lifting the hips very slightly. And then drop down. Again, tabletop pose, one cat-cow here. Belly draws down, chest lengthens. And round that spine out. Now from here, keep your toes curled under. You're going to sit back into toes pose. So you're feeling the arch of the foot start to open up here. Hands will come to your thighs. If it gets to be too much on the feet, simply come to tops of feet. But we're going to start by taking the arms out like angel wings. And then take your left arm under your right arm. Option here is to hug the shoulders or wrap the forearms. Wherever you are in the pose, the elbows are driving upward and the shoulders are driving downward toward the waist. Nice deep breath in. Full breath out. Next inhale, rise up to the knees, release to the tops of the feet, and bring the hands down through center as you sit back onto the heels. Now simply tops of feet are to the earth. Before we come into eagle wrap on the other side, we're going to stretch the front of the ankle. So let's take the fingertips behind you, couple of options here. You can lift the right leg and breathe for 2 full breaths, or you can lift the left leg, or you can lift both. So it's going to be 4 breaths, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, or 4 all together, your choice. Nice deep breath in. So basically the shoelace side of your foot is down, and one or both knees are raised. And you can lean back into your fingertips, or you can use a little bit of core strength to balance, but you should feel a nice stretch over the front of the feet that we don't often get. And then slowly releasing it down, standing to the knees. Curl your toes under just to give the foot a little bit different stretch here, and you're going to take the right arm under the left arm. Again, hugging or wrapping. Pressing fingertips or elbows upward, driving shoulder blades downward. And then slowly lift up. Reaching the arms up, hands through center chest, pressing palms together once again. From here, step your right leg out to the side. Lift the arms up on a breath in. Reach over with your right fingertips on a breath out. Nice deep side waist stretch. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, left fingertips to the earth. Reach deeply. So your bicep on the right arm is by your right ear. Inhaling, we rise. Exhaling, reach over to the right leg. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, reach to the earth. One more time, rise up. Good. Now you're going to stay here, but reach your left hand to your right elbow, wrist, or hand, and you're going to feel a nice deep stretch across the low back, on the back of the waist, and across your rib cage. From here, let the hands come down to the earth, keeping that right leg out to the side. You'll shift the hips forward to start, and then shift them back as far as the body allows. So allow some breath to work into that leg. We're here for 4 breaths. If you find that that muscle is softening a bit, you can drop down to the forearms and press the hips back even deeper. Your choice. Slowly rising up, hands and knees, tabletop pose again. Letting the belly draw down and the chest lengthen forward in a cow belly. Rounding the spine out into cat back. Stay rounded. Push to your left side. Come through center and push to your right side. And come through center and walk the hands back. So now standing on the knees, once again, you're going to step out with the left foot and reach the arm, right arm up, left arm down. Just feeling that stretch over the side of your waist. Nice deep breath into those right ribs. Rising up, letting the right hand come to the earth, left arm comes by the ear. And then we inhale, rise up. Exhale, reach to your left. Good, inhale, rise. Exhale, reach right. Inhale, rise. Exhale to the left. Stay here, reaching deeply. And then take that right hand somewhere onto your left arm. And you'll start to feel that stretch come from the top of the hip right up over the rib cage on the right. Hands slowly coming to the earth. You're going to send the hips forward a bit and then shift the hips back. Start to feel immediately the inner thigh stretching and allow your breath to soften the body. So the inhale allows you to notice sensation and the exhale allows you to soften around that. And it might not even be the muscle group that you're stretching. It might be the jaw or the skin of the face. Or the shoulders, places where we hold tension when we are uncomfortable. Slowly come back to neutral, hands to the earth, knee under hip in tabletop pose. One more cat-cow here, belly down, chest lengthens. Spine rounds. Stay rounded, this time push straight back. You should feel a stretch right from the tailbone up the center of the spine through the low back. And then walk the hands back, curl the toes under one more time. Toes pose, just seated into the heels. Taking the hands behind your back, interlace, draw the knuckles down and back. Again, if it gets too much on the feet, let the tops of the feet drop or simply stand to the knees. And then slowly rise to knees, let the hands come to the hips. We'll draw the right foot forward and drop down into our hips here. Coming down into this nice deep lunge, only as deep as your body wants to allow tonight. Again, not super warm just yet, but we'll get there. Feeling that lunge across the front part of your left leg and into the hip crease of your right leg. Reach the right fingertips down, palm facing outward. Reach the left arm up. So you imagine that you could actually dust the floor with your middle finger on that right side. And then slowly come back through center. Take the hands to the hips and draw that right knee back. Let the left leg come forward, dropping down into the lunge. As you settle in and start to feel the hips, release your left arm down and send the right arm up on an inhale as you reach over. Nice deep stretch across the side of the waist. Again, imagine you could kind of dust the floor with that middle finger. And then slowly come up, hands to the hips as both feet come back. Take your hands to your imaginary back pockets and you want to roll the upper arm bones back toward one another. Pull the navel into the spine and lift the chest up as you find a tiny back bend stretching right over the center belly, right across the chest. Hip flexors on the front of the legs are a bit more open now. And come back to neutral. Hands to your hips as you send the right foot forward once again. Coming a bit deeper and adding on. This time, right fingertips will reach down, palm facing forward. Left arm reaches up. Find that deep length across the side of your waist. Imagine you're pulling the lowest rib up away from the hip to create that space. And then from here, take the hands to center, push the palms together. Send the chest forward over that knee. You can stay right here, or you can take the length that you created in your waist and hook your elbow to the knee, beginning to twist. If elbow to knee is too much, forearm or wrist to knee with arms open is your alternative. pulling the belly into the spine, ring out deeply. Slowly come back through center. Let both arms rise up. And then slowly you're going to rock the hips back. Send the hands either behind you, palms are facing the floor, or hands to hips if balance is an issue. If you're lucky and you have something to hold on to on either side of you, go for it. Wherever you are in this pose, you want to allow the chest to open up and the low rib to come toward the knee. So you think of that action and you get a nice long spine with a deep stretch in the back of your hamstring. From here, inhale, rise the arms, drop the hips forward. Inhale, rise, and then exhale, fold. Nice and slow. Inhale, rise, exhale, drop. Inhale, rise, exhale, fold. Good, so it's one full breath cycle to each movement. Moving at your breath and your pace. Now, staying in your lunge, take the arms, interlace your fingers, palms press up like we did at the beginning. This time, just lifting up and over to the right side. And then slowly dropping the left hand to the earth, right hand stays to the knee. Different twist here. You'll feel it a little bit more in your belly than in the back. Keeping that knee straight up and down to 12 o'clock. And then back through center, hands to the knee as you drop the hips one last time. Send that right knee back. Send the left foot forward. Dropping down into the hips. Again, left fingertips reach, right arm lifts up. Find that length and that space across the side of your waist. Rise both arms up. Take the hands through center, pressing palms together. And then lean forward over that left knee as you come into your twist, either elbows, forearm, or wrist, ringing out. So this you feel a lot through the low back. Inhale, rise your arms, and then send those hips back as you straighten that left leg and lift the sole of the foot up. Broaden across the chest and send the rib toward the knee and the center chest as if it's reaching across the big toe. Moving with the breath. We rise on an inhale, sink the hips on an exhale. Rise on an inhale, fold over the leg on an exhale, and simply move with your breath. Inhale into the lunge, inhale into the split. One more time through the entire cycle. And now we rise into that lunge. Drop your left hand down, right hand down, left hand to the knee, and begin to take that twist, feeling it now more in your oblique or the side of your waist on the right side. Rise back up, both hands to the knee as you let the hips sink lower. And then slowly send that left leg back. Again, hands are going to come to those imaginary back pockets, rolling upper arm bones toward one another, navel to spine, and start to send the chest up and back. From here, release into child's pose, hips to your heels, sending those arms long. You should feel a nice release through your low back when you do this. And slowly rise back up onto the knees. One more time through a lunge series, just adding on. Right foot is going to come forward. Let the hips drop forward and down. This time, you're going to take both hands by your sides. Palms are facing forward. Roll your shoulders to your ears, and then squeeze the blades behind you as you drop those fingertips low. I'm going to show you this from the side. And you're going to imagine you want to touch the floor with those middle fingers as you arch the spine up. So you think about a giant beach ball behind you, and you're kind of lifting over it. Slowly, you're going to take the hands inside that leg to the left. So you're into the big toe edge, right? And you're going to curl your left toes under as you lift up off of that knee. And start to circle from right to left. So you're kind of rolling over the tips of those left toes. And then drop down into that left knee once again. Turn your right toes out cornerwise and let the pinky toe edge balance that foot as you peel the knee open. You can do a bit of rocking here. After a couple of breaths, you have a few options to deepen this stretch. The hands can walk over to your left. You can drop the forearms to the earth. Or you can stay right where you were. But we're here for 3 more full breath cycles. And then let those hands come down to the earth and send that right leg back. You want to come into an extended leg here, bend the knee a bit, and then circle the knee up. So a little bit of dog at a hydrant action, but it really releases the joint. Taking the circles now in the other direction. And then dropping the knee next to the left knee as you find a cat-cow. In your rounded spine, press your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands back, standing on the knees once again, and take the left foot forward. Final lunge on this side. Allow the fingertips to drop down, palms face up, or face forward. Shoulders roll up, and then drop those fingers down as if you want to touch the floor with the middle finger, and you're finding that nice, deep back bend. Slowly, you're going to rise up and take the hands inside the big toe edge of that left foot. Curl your toes under. Lift up off of that right knee. Circle from left to right. Coming to stillness as you drop that right knee down. Turn your left toes cornerwise and peel to the pinky toe edge of the foot. Maybe rocking a bit from side to side. Finding a few breaths here as the body opens up a bit more. And then you can stay right here, or you can walk over to the right. And the next option is to take the forearms to the earth. Walking the hands underneath your shoulders. Send that left leg back. Again, extending, bending the knee just a bit and circling that hip out 3 times in each direction. Last time. Now, coming back into your tabletop pose and widening the knees and shins as you press back to a modified frog and a frog/wide child's. Feeling this much deeper in the hips than you might an ordinary child's pose. And then slowly rising up. Walk your knees underneath your hips And start to walk your hands forward into happy puppy pose. From happy puppy, coming all the way down onto the belly. We've done a lot to open up the front of the leg. So we're going to lean to the right a bit and reach back with the left hand to grab the left foot. Relaxing down here so that you don't put any pressure on the low back. As you pull the heel in, press the front of the hip into the earth deeper. Relax that leg. Switch sides, reaching back with the right hand for the right foot. And draw the heel down as you press the hip forward. Releasing that leg, bending both knees as you windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Slowly relax the legs long, prop up onto forearms. You'll send the left leg out into half frog leg. So you have this little 90-degree bend at the hip, knee, and then the foot junction. From here, press the front of your hip and inner thigh into the floor. You're going to feel that open up the inner thigh. If you are not comfortable on forearms, you can come all the way down. It's going to release the low back. If you have a little bit further to go, you can take the palms to the earth and lift up into this upper body seal pose, broadening across the chest. Slowly, you're going to extend the left arm out in front of you and thread the right arm as we come into this twist. Left hand now to your left hip, and then start to send the chest twisting toward so that it faces the ceiling. Nice deep stretch across your low back here. Quadricep is really open. If you wish, you can bend that right leg and reach for it. And you'll do what's called cat, grabbing its tail. Again, totally optional here. It helps open the shoulder and it helps open the quadricep. And slowly come back through center. Unthread the hand, send that left leg back. You're going to prop up onto forearms and let the upper arm bones come up to the earlobes and drop the head heavy. You may need to adjust the elbows in toward one another or out away from the body, but you should feel quite a deep sensation across the muscles that connect the neck to the tops of the shoulders, so the trapezius muscles. Slowly pressing into the forearms, bring your right leg out into half frog. And then you can stay on forearms or perhaps take that upper body seal pose. If you feel any sensation in the low back, pull the belly button toward the spine. And that's going to release that low back because it's going to lengthen out the vertebrae. Send your right leg long and thread your left arm under. Take the right hand to your hip and you'll twist now to the opposite side. Perhaps again reaching for that bottom leg, finding a little more quad stretch. And then slowly unwind here. Again, taking forearms down. Upper arm bones come up to the earlobes. Drop the head heavy. Yin Sphinx pose. So passive Sphinx pose. It's great to release the connective tissue in those upper traps. Slowly, let's take the hands back beside your ribs. Curl your toes just a bit and come up onto hands and knees. pushing back to child's pose one last time. Just stretching out the spine that we just twisted deep. And then walking the hands back as you sit over onto your right hip. So right hip will come to the earth, left leg is bent beside it. You're going to take your right hand behind your back and your left hand to your hip. Now you can stay here and just kind of simply push the hips forward, or you can lean into that hand and lift the hips up. Wherever you are, you're going to feel a stretch across that front part of that left leg. Let's drop the hips down. Perhaps add the arm, lift and open across the chest on a breath in, and then sweep down. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, sweep. Last time, rise and reach. Hold here, really stretch and lengthen. And then slowly you're going to fold forward all the way over that right leg and drop down into the mat. So dropping down into the mat might look like this for you, where you're on your hands. That's completely fine. Wherever you feel sensation through the inner thigh and the outer hip is where you stay. It will just take a little bit more or a little bit less depending on your body or the side of your body that you're on. From here, you're going to take the hands to the earth and roll onto that right shin. Then you're going to send the left leg back behind you, walking back as you start to bring your right hip down toward the earth, coming into pigeon pose. So what we want to do is prop up onto our forearms and keep the toes of the left leg curled under. Otherwise, if we relax too much, we're going to kind of drop over into that right hip. And in order to get the stretch, we have to have the hips square. So ideally, we take something and kind of build the floor up to meet our hip. But if you don't have that something, you prop onto the arms. You can stay right here if you would like deeper sensation. You can come up, leaning into your right hand and reaching back with your left hand for the left foot as you come into what's called mermaid pose. Again, completely optional, just a little bit deeper into your quadricep. And slowly release. Roll to your right hip. Send the left leg either in front of the right knee or over the right knee. And then be sure to walk that right heel away from your left glute so you can sit. Left hand behind your back, right arm rises. Find your twist. Ringing out here. And coming back through center, we're going to walk the right leg. So I say we're going to try to walk the right leg away from the left leg, or excuse me, left leg away from the right. So opposite direction, so the knees stack. You might be right here. It's totally fine. If you can come deeper, go for it. And then the chest lifts and you send a little bit of upper body weight forward over those legs, maybe tenting the fingers in front for some support. You're going to feel a lot of action in that left hip. And then again, wherever you're at with the legs, just send the shoulders to stack over the hips and let the arms come out wide. You're going to take your left arm under your right arm and either hug or cross, just like we did at the beginning. Elbows up, shoulders down. This ties in all of the work we've been doing to open the hips, to loosen the low back, and to release the upper shoulders. Slowly release your hands. You're going to lean back into your fingertips and then send those legs in the opposite direction. So left foot is forward, right foot is behind you. Start propped into your left hand. You can hang out right here. Right hand is going to come to the hip. Again, you can simply kind of press forward through the hips, or you can lift up across the hip. Release the hips back down. Maybe add the arm. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, release. Good, inhale, rise. Exhale, release. And last time, rise up, reach, 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 really find that stretch. And then slowly swing the body forward over that left shin, dropping into the forearms. You can stay here or you can come into pigeon by rolling forward into that shin. Extend your right leg and then start to walk that right leg back until you feel you've got your kind of edge on that stretch in the outer hip on the left. You can stay here or you can prop up to hands, which will automatically give you a little more sensation. Perhaps lean to your left hand and reach back for that right foot. Just finding mermaid pose here. And then release by rolling off to your left hip and sending the right foot either in front of or across the left knee. Let's bring the right hand behind the back and lift the left arm up as you find your twist. Now when you find the twist, what wants to happen is this right hip wants to lift up off the floor. Try to release it down and make sure that your left heel is not in the way. And then come forward through center and walk the feet away from each other. So the knees start to stack toward one another and start to give a little bit of forward weight to those to the upper body, adding more weight into the hips. And then we draw those shoulders back in line with the hips. Take the arms out like wings. Right arm comes under left arm, either hug or twist. Taking all of the activity that we've done tonight to open up and bringing it together in one final pose. And slowly release, hands come behind you. Send the soles of the feet to the earth. Draw your knees from side to side, windshield wiper here. And then sit up tall as you bring the hands behind the knees and lift the chest to open. Round the spine to release. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, round and release. Last time we lift. And as you round, start to come all the way to the earth, drawing knees into chest, and just give a little bit of rocking here from side to side, which should feel really nice across your low back. From here, extend down through the left leg. Keep the right knee into the chest, and just hug it in a bit. You'll feel it through your hip crease. And then interlace behind the knee, sending the heel upward. Maybe you take the hand behind the shin, but if when your arms reach up the leg, the shoulders come off the floor, let the hand release down the leg a little bit more. We're just going for that extra stretch across the hamstring here. Keep your right hand on your leg, let your left arm come out to the side, and open that leg out now. If you find yourself rolling off of your left hip, press actively through the heel. It's going to root the leg down to the earth more. And then draw back through center. Before we come across to the left, bring your hand to the inside of your leg, whether it's the inner arch or the inner knee, and draw that knee down as if you want to touch a point beside your right rib cage. Ankle and knee stacking as you find half happy baby. Release that, straighten the leg, and take your left hand to the inner right leg, letting the right hand release. Tiny movement of the body. So you do not want your hip to lift up off of the floor. You want to root it down. And you'll feel it immediately over the entire outer back part of your right leg. And slowly you'll relax the hands, let the right leg set next to the left. You should feel the right leg a bit longer. Bring your left knee in, squeeze tightly, feeling that hip crease. Slowly interlace behind your leg, somewhere between the knee and the back of the ankle, as you send the heel up toward the ceiling and flex the toes back toward your face. Letting the left hand stay to the leg, open out to the side, right arm out for counterbalance, and right heel pressing to the wall in front of you. Slowly come up through center. You're going to find either the back of the knee or the inside arch of the foot, and start to pull that left knee down outside of the rib cage, finding half happy baby here. And then slowly take your right hand to that leg as the leg straightens, and start to find that tiny movement across the body. I'm here to tell you this one never gets easier. And slowly release, taking soles of feet now to the earth. And just walk those heels in. We're going to take one bridge pose, sending the arms by your sides with the palms face up. Lift your hips up. Press the back of your head into the earth. No clenching through the glutes. Press through the inside arches of the feet. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, release down. Take both knees into the chest, a tiny bit of rocking from side to side, maybe circling the knees out. And then, if you would like, send the legs up and just let the hands rest beside you. Eyes can close. If you're ready for Shavasana now, you can release the legs down. But we're here with legs up for about 3 more breaths. Just reversing blood flow and allowing the bones to set into hip sockets a bit. Let go of any control of your breath here. And start to allow the weight of those hips to release deeply. Slowly bend your knees, sending your legs long down your mat, allowing the palms to roll face up and land in your Shavasana. Feeling fully present on your mat, surrendering deeply into the earth. And feeling your breath move in and out, expand and release. Slowly begin to bring your attention back to your physical body. Inviting in deeper breaths and gentle movements. Finding any final stretches that feel right in the body. And hugging your knees in toward your chest. As you're ready, roll off to one side, finding 2 breaths here. And then simply use your hands to press you up to a comfortable seat with eyes closed. Allowing the palms now to rest face up with the knuckles resting down on the knees. The energy of the body is open after stretching. It's grounded after being close to the earth. So allowing the palms to face up is not only symbolic of open energy, but allows the body to simply receive. And in this space, we find the balance between effort and surrender. And I would say that the practice is that space. So our practice on the mat, our practice off the mat, is finding the balance between effort and surrender. And knowing that it's a dance, and that as we live more in that space of balance, we find ourselves being able to focus, having more clarity, and having more space for the positive things around us. So opening up that space of balance and not efforting through everything, but not surrendering into everything either. Finding that balance, knowing when to effort, knowing when to surrender, and feeling it deeply through your body. I invite you to allow the arms to rise overhead on an inhale and draw the palms to touch in front of center chest on the exhale. I'll seal our time together with a single round of Om. Inhaling. Surrendering the head to the heart as you swallow in the back of your throat. Raising your thumb knuckles to center forehead. All that is light and love and balanced between effort and surrender in me honors and shines to all that is light and love and balanced between effort and surrender in you. Namaste.